Spell red.
Later. She perpetuates white supremacy quite frequently. Her books are full of racism, transphobia. If it's a bigotry, it's in there.
If you buy the Hogwarts Legacy game, buy its transphobic to buy it in.
Still supporting J.K. Rowling is an act of hostility.
Hogwarts Legacy may just be one of the best games I've played in my entire life, and it raises the bar for what video games can be while reinforcing what gaming should be about. It's full of hidden doors and secret passageways, amazing combat mechanics, and absolutely stunning visuals. I'm Rage Review, and this is my review of Hogwarts Legacy. My expectations were high, but holy fuck! That's what comes to mind when reflecting on my experience with Hogwarts Legacy. And before we dive into the details and break this game down, I want to quickly talk about one glaring fact about the game. It released in an absolutely finished state with perfect polish and little to no bugs or glitches. All too often in modern day game development, games are released in absolutely terrible shape. We almost expect it at this point. The devs at Avalanche Software have just put the rest of the AAA gaming world on notice. This is how you release a game. This is how it's done. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's dive into it. The story. In Hogwarts Legacy, you play as a fifth-year student who's starting their journey a little late, but better late than never, right? Clearly, you're a gifted student, so you get to skip the first 4 years. This is done to put you right in the sweet spot in the story. And as you are a new student, you get to go through the amazing experiences of being acquainted to Hogwarts and the actual building itself. Going through the sorting hat process and exploring your house's common room. The sorting hat put me in Gryffindor, so it's really the only common room I've seen, and it's quite amazing. Although I've heard Slytherin's is really unreal. So once you've been acquainted with some of the basic amenities and you've learned a couple of spells, you're set off to wander over to the little village of Hogsmeade, and this is the first time you leave Hogwarts and get a taste of the scenery, and man, does it not disappoint. This is when I started to realize that this game was going to be far greater than I had originally expected. Seeing Hogwarts from a distance and how beautifully crafted the world was, this little walk does a great job of leading you into the world outside of Hogwarts. Once you get into Hogsmeade, you are tasked with buying a wand at Ollivander's wand shop, which is a really great little experience, and the building itself is absolutely gorgeous. You get to craft your own wand, and this is the kind of immersion that becomes a theme throughout Hogwarts Legacy. They made sure you get the full wizarding experience, and they do not cut a single corner. As for the entire story, my job isn't to explain every storyline and walk you through it. The overarching story is great, and obviously you have your big bad villain, Victor Rockwood, and an underlying storyline of good versus evil, classic storytelling stuff, but I'm going to leave it up to you to discover the Hogwarts plot yourself. It's a really well-constructed story, and you will not be let down. Visuals and graphics. The next thing I want to get into is how incredible and immersive this beautiful world is, and the Hogwarts castle itself. Hogwarts may be the most detailed building in all of gaming. I'm not kidding about this. The amount of hidden areas and little side quests and missions to do, things to unlock and explore, the actual visuals inside of Hogwarts are absolutely breathtaking. One of my favorite areas is Central Hall. It has a beautiful fountain in the center where you can activate its stones, and the stone sirens come to life and circle the fountain, and it's amazing. And high up on the wall, a stone dragon comes to life and blows smoke out of its nose. Look at the dragon in the background, dude. Look at that dragon all the way up there on the wall. It's like moving. Dude, that's so fucking cool, bro. Right next to the Central Hall is the greenhouse where our love, Professor Garlick, resides. And the first time I walked into the greenhouse, I was blown away by how great the colors cast from the old green tinted windows gives the entire room this beautiful green color and feel. The craftsmanship of all these rooms and areas are unlike anything I've ever seen before in a video game. Also, most of the paintings on the walls move and look like they are alive in there, which is an incredible feat because there are thousands of portraits throughout Hogwarts. Also, most of the statues that you'll find throughout Hogwarts moved and interact with each other as well. The level of detail within the walls of Hogwarts is truly a masterclass in immersion, and it's really showing us what is possible in today's age of game development. Hogwarts Legacy runs on Unreal Engine 4 and it looks this good. I can't even begin to imagine what games developed on UE5 will look like. As gamers, this is a very good sign of things to come. Also, another part of the immersion inside and around of Hogwarts is the different experiences and the different things that you see when it comes to NPCs. There are NPCs having little conversations with each other and interactions with each other that are absolutely amazing, and they really make Hogwarts come to life. It's absolutely incredible, and these NPC interactions are all throughout the game. Let's move outside and talk about the outdoors quickly. There's no surprise here, the details we see inside of Hogwarts are also present out in nature. The lighting effects are amazing in this game. The rays of light coming through the pine trees, the street lights in Hogsmeade glowing up at night through the thick atmosphere, the sun setting over Hogwarts, the environments they've created wrap the gameplay in a warm blanket that makes you step back once in a while and admire the view. I don't know how many times I stopped what I was doing to watch a painting play me a song on the guitar, or watch the fog set over a village. No matter where you go in this game, the visuals literally never disappoint. The sharpness of the graphics in 4K on the Xbox Series X were unreal, and graphically, it's a masterpiece. There's no other way to say it. It is a visual masterpiece. Combat. As if the amazing visuals weren't enough, the combat in Hogwarts Legacy is really well thought out and truly gives you the feeling of being a badass wizard. There are 16 combat spells that you can use against your enemies in an almost endless amount of spell combinations. Levioso to levitate the enemy, and then casting Descendo to slam them into the ground, or using Depulso to throw them like a ragdoll, or all these are interchangeable with each other. It's really awesome. You also have your basic damage spells that really help you tie your attacks together in combinations for extra damage. One of my favorites is using Accio to pull an enemy close and then casting Transformation to turn them into an explosive barrel and throw them at an enemy, or transform a huge spider into a tiny one to crush them under your feet. You can also unlock 3 extra spell sets so that you have a total of 4 sets of spells that you can switch through while you're fighting to give you tons of options and room to grow as you get better at the combat. Oh, we turned him into a fucking chicken! Defending is also great. Protego gives you a bubble shield that, if timed right, redirects incoming spells back at whatever enemy you aim it at. You can also throw loot crates and powder kegs at enemies. There are also special movements that help you defeat enemies and move around the map a little bit quicker. Also, the particle effects for the spells are unreal. Everything about the combat is awesome, and all of these things combined make for a really deep combat system that feels really great, and it's just fun as fuck. Quickly, I want to talk about the enemies that you face. There are massive, creepy-ass spiders, wolves, and huge trolls, and of course the main villains, goblins. There are a few kind of goblins, bow-wielding, shape-shifting, and more. There are also Infurious, which is another type of enemy. They're only damaged using fire spells, and there are also many more enemy variations and types. Most enemies will protect themselves using shield spells, which vary in color, and to break the shield, you must attack it with the corresponding spell color. If the shield is red, you have to use a fire spell. If it's yellow, you have to use a spell like Levioso. It adds another layer that makes the combat in this game that much more interesting, and when you put it all together, it really makes you feel like a badass wizard. Potions in horticulture. Another great aspect of being a student at Hogwarts is learning horticulture in Professor Garlick's class. Not only is Mrs. Garlick an absolute dreamboat, you also learn that she's a lesbian, which I'm sure crushed a lot of nerds' hearts like it did mine. But you learn how to grow your own plants, which you can then use to make potions and plant attacks. And as the game advances, you run into tougher enemies. It becomes very important that you use your potions to help you in combat. There's potions like Thunder Brew, which surround you with a storm and that hits enemies with lightning bolts. It's by far my favorite potion. And then you have plants that act as bio grenades, like the Chinese chomping cabbage that follows enemies and attacks them. There are many more potions and plants that attack your enemies, but you'll just have to play the game to see them for yourself. So where do we grow all these plants? Well, the room of requirements, of course. This is a magical room that changes itself to fit your needs. It's truly an incredible area, and in this room, you're free to fully decorate it as you see fit. This is where you'll set up your brewing tables and gardens and much more. This is a space for your captured beasts. Yes, you can capture and breed and interact with all kinds of beasts in this game, and there is a special area for them in the room of requirement. It's a truly beautiful space for your beasts. There's a couple of them actually. There's so much of this game, it's really tough to go through it all in great detail. So I'm not gonna go into the beasts as much as I kind of want to, just for time's sake, but they do serve a purpose, and it's a great little part of the game. Flight. Once you get far enough in the main story, you get to go to the broom shop and buy your very first broom and then attend flying lessons. This is a fairly quick lesson mission, but after you finish it, you have the ability to traverse the map much faster and honestly just get lost in this absolutely beautiful world. The flying in Hogwarts Legacy is really well done. I've heard people complain about the controls, but honestly I really just think it's a skill issue. But then again, I race drones, so my mind is already honed in for this type of control scheme. But that aside, flying allows you to drop onto enemies and to explore more efficiently, and the animations are flawless and smooth. The transition from flying to landing and fighting are so fast. They're so smooth. It looks so great. There's no stuttering or delay. I can honestly just get lost flying around this map for hours and hours, dropping in on enemies, finding hidden areas high up in Hogwarts, or just flying around for fun. Hopefully they'll add Quidditch in eventually. I think the flying is perfect for it. There will be skill involved and it will be awesome. Character customization and gear. So let's quickly go over customization. I think they did a really good job with character customization and clothing and gear. There's a fair bit of unlockables out there in the world, and the appearances of everything can be changed while keeping the stats of your highest level gear. It's a nice little touch that allows you to make your character look great while keeping those high level stat items. You can also change your wand too. There are dozens of wands that you can pick up in crates all around the map. The customization is awesome. I wish there was a little bit more variety in the actual gear that you get, but that's really just nitpicking. There are some awesome things, and I haven't really explored every square inch of the map, so I'm sure there's a lot that I have not found yet. Music in the original soundtrack. The music in Hogwarts Legacy is second to none. Composed by Chuck E. Myers, J. Scott Riccozzi, and Peter Murray of Water Tower Music, who's owned by Warner Brothers and have worked on lots of incredible big-time movies. There are a total of 75 musical pieces to accompany this game and are specifically written for certain scenes and parts of the game. It's truly incredible, and in my opinion, is the bow on top of an absolutely perfect video game experience. Monetization. There is none. Imagine that, a game with a great story, tons of loot and customization, and there is no battle pass, no wizard pass, store, or monetary schemes. It's just a deep single player game that gives you all the gear you want. You just have to go out into the world and find it for yourself. What a breath of fresh air it is. It's nice to feel that my 100 Canadian dollars was enough for them. We need to praise these types of decisions in a sea of games where companies are trying to bend gamers over at every corner. This is a great example of what a game should be. In closing, guys, I don't think I've ever had so much fun playing a video game in my life. It's everything that we wanted. They pushed the technical boundaries of what a video game can be. They dazzled us with incredible details and visuals, and they made our hearts flutter with excitement when hitting that perfect combat combo, and they made us tear up with great storytelling, and they also respected our wallets by not being greedy. If every single game company followed this recipe, just imagine the future of gaming we could have. My name is Eli. and this is Rage Review. This video took a lot of effort to make, guys, so please like and comment. Let me know how you felt about playing this wonderful game, and please, if you think I earned it, subscribe to my channel for weekly live streams and video game reviews. And by the grace of Merlin's beard, take care of yourselves.